Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support and interest. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here, if this is your first time watching a video here, welcome. And I hope that you enjoy yourself and consider subscribing and becoming a part of this community. So we're going to open a tarot deck together today. And the package that I have came from Etsy. It came specifically from Dame Darcy, so I know which tarot deck this is. Actually, it's one that I already own, and I love it so much that I decided to go ahead when I saw that she was releasing a second edition to go ahead and get that, and that way I could open it up with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, part of why I wanted to open this now is because it's actually a deck that I just used as an oracle in a group that I teach here at House of Intuition in Los Angeles. So one of the things that I offer is crystal grid ceremonies. And what those are is special rituals that each have a specific intention. And when people come, we sit together in ceremony around a fantastic master grid of big extra supercharged crystals, and we all put our intentions into the center, and then everybody who attends gets their own crystals that align with that intention, and they set their grid up, and then they get to take that home and continue to work with it. So the crystal grid that we just did is called Secrets of the Sea, where we have a meditation where you go down into the sea, you explore Atlantis and find whatever kind of knowledge you can there. And the sea, of course, also corresponds to the element of water, and within our own subtle bodies, that corresponds to our emotions. So working with sea magic, working with water magic is very, very much about healing and soothing and balancing the emotional body, helping us to release the traumas of the past and helping us to have open hearts to bring in connection in the present. So let's go ahead and see this now. Oh, I've got something else in here that's not the tarot deck. What did I order? Oh, wow. 2017 Meat Cake Witch Calendar by Dame Darcy. Check this out. Too bad I've left this package sitting around since December 2016. Whoops. I guess that I also ordered this calendar. Oh, it's number 218. I guess there's a limited edition. Well, I'm just going to have to jump in here at the middle of the year. Oh, this is very cool. So it's completely illustrated by her. And she's got all kinds of interesting things written here on the dates. Let's take a look at June, which is almost over. There you have the artwork for June. And let's see, today is the 28th. Well, she mentions here that a week ago was the summer solstice, and she also has some interesting little tidbits about stones here. On June 7th, pearls are the stone of June and beloved by mermaids. And mermaids seem to be a thing for Dame Darcy. Now, the first time that I ordered this deck, I actually ordered it from a website called Two Sides Tarot. They specialize in all kinds of cool, unique decks that you might not see in stores. And I guess what you might want to say is cutting edge in terms of things that are just coming out and really beautifully curated selection. So I'm going to link them down below. Just tell them that Naha sent you. And I've got a little thank you card here. So this time I ordered the deck directly from Dame Darcy herself. And when I did look back online to see if this deck was still available, what I found is that it actually is, she's just about to release the third edition. And I think you can already pre-order that. So you know, these decks are definitely limited edition, and once they're gone, that's it. So you can pre-order edition 3 now. And I actually brought out my my second edition because I want to see if there's anything different that I notice, if it's the same, if it's just that she's running another batch, or if there is anything that's different about this deck from the one that I already have. And how we used it in the crystal grid ceremony in the Secrets of the Sea is as an oracle for how the people who attend find their seats. So they each draw a card when they check in, and then they use that card, look for the seat that has the same card on it. And then that gives them a little bit of a message about something that can be useful in terms of what it is that they need to be thinking about, aligning with, working on. And even if you are not interested or consider yourself adept at doing tarot readings and doing spreads and looking at a bunch of cards at once, I believe that anybody can really get a lot of value out of just owning a deck and using it to just pull a single card. So you can pick a single card on any given day to say, what do I need to work on today? What do I need to keep in mind? What do I need to keep my eyes peeled for? Or maybe, you know, something that you want to manifest that you can keep in your awareness. So you might want to consider that. So let's take a look at this together. Now, the very first card here is the Fool. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's called the Mermaid's Tarot, isn't it? Is it the Mermaid Tarot? I actually, you know, this deck does not come with a box. And the last one that I got didn't either. It just comes in a little bag like this. This is the back of the cards, and the back is the same as the last edition, as the second edition. So it looks like, or I'm sorry, as the first. It has this little compass on here and these fins, and I really do love the back of these, and this deck is completely hand-drawn. One thing that I am already noticing, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison. You guys tell me what you think. But yeah, it's pretty clear that this deck, the coloring is just a little bit different. This is actually the first edition right here, and then this is the second edition. Now, all of these cards have kind of an antiqued feel to them. They have sort of a patina, almost as if you can imagine that. I actually had somebody look at these cards and say, oh, that deck is old. You've had that for a long time, because they thought maybe they had, you know, kind of yellowed over the years. No, they actually are brand new. They're just made to look that way. So can you guys see that this one is a little bit brighter and this one's a little bit warmer? All right, so let's take a look. Here is the Empress. And I'm not exactly sure. That one might be a little bit different. Yeah, the Empress has changed. Ooh, I actually like this new Empress even more. So this is the old Empress. And here's the new one. She's quite gorgeous, isn't she? Okay. The other cards seem to be the same. And the Emperor. Oh, the Hierophant is different. Here's the new Hierophant. And here is the Hierophant in the old deck. I actually quite like the older version better. In fact, I think that he showed up in my meditation when we did the sea grid. I saw this kind of white bearded old Neptunian guy. And actually the Hierophant here looks like a woman, but the focus is more on these two figures that are down below. I'll try not to get these two decks mixed up here, because that wouldn't be very helpful. I have to say right off the bat, though, I do like the printing better on the older edition. So hopefully when edition 3 comes out, she makes an adjustment back to this original look, because here again, here are the two lovers. And can you see that the image here on the right is just crisper, it's cleaner, it's a little bit brighter than the one in my left hand. So I do think that I like the printing better on the original. Let's see what else is different here. I actually also took this deck today because I recorded a podcast. If you guys have a minute to watch this, or to listen to it rather, I think that there is a video feed, but it's the Nooner podcast with Alec Mappa and Rachel True. You guys might know Rachel True or Alec from all of their various shows and movies and things that they have done. They both have a really amazing career, and Rachel True was on The Craft, which is one of her big claims to fame. So I recorded a podcast with them today, and I actually took this deck along, my original edition, and pulled some cards, and this is one of the cards that came up for Alec, the Chariot, which is very timely, actually, because he's about to have his birthday. Since, as I said, we're in June, his birthday's July 10th. He's a Cancer, and this is actually the card that corresponds to the zodiacal sign of Cancer. Looks like our Hermit's a little bit different, too. You know, the Hermit is traditionally one of my very favorite cards. So this is the new Hermit, and this is the original one. I have to say I like this Hermit better, but I like his lantern better here. And I've been thinking a lot about Hermit lanterns lately because I think that's going to be what one of my next tattoos is going to be. And I suppose now that I have two versions of this deck, I could mix and match. I could definitely take the ones that I like the best and mix them in with the other deck. Let's take a look at Death. Death is always really interesting to me, how artists choose to interpret it. And I actually don't quite recall if this is the same Death. Yep, she kept Death the same. But he's riding on a little seahorse there. Don't you love that? So you can see that all of this imagery is very much, these underwater depictions. And it does look like Temperance has changed. So here is the old edition 1 Temperance. Here is edition 2. And you can see that there is some traditional imagery there with the pouring of the water from one into the next. Now let's go ahead and flash forward to some of the minor arcana. And in the minors, there's a really cool choice that she made, which is for the cups to use these seashells. This is called a conch shell, right? And actually, she kind of goes back and forth. When the scene is underwater, she uses the shell as the cup. And then in some of the above water scenes, she's actually using cups instead. Here's 5 of cups. And the poor mermaid, she's up on the shore there. Some of her cups have spilled over. There's the 6 of cups. We saw that one in the podcast today. Here again, they're little scallop shells. And then we see the cups here again. Very traditional imagery for 8 of cups. And because, again, this is all a very water-centric deck, all of these beautiful sea scenes, it doesn't surprise me that Cups is the first suit that you would come to in the series. Now, I don't recall if I have these. I'm sure that there are some title cards here. They must have been in the other deck. I may have misplaced them. But here we see a message which I'm going to go ahead and share with you. It says, "When I was a child, I lived on the top of the Rocky Mountains on a horse ranch, but I saw the ocean every time I closed my eyes. Mermaid is a race, and Atlantis encompasses every color of the rainbow. I made this for you, for it has found its way to your hands, and our hearts are bound in shared memories of Atlantis." That's amazing. I don't remember seeing this card in the last edition. And then she also has, please go to damedarcy.com, book section, then Mermaid Tarot deck, then click Guide to Using the Tarot. So this is something that a lot of modern decks have, which is online versions of the guidebook, which I think is cool and helpful and, definitely a sign of the times. The deck that I collaborated with Tara Logston on, the Barrow Tarot, had an online guidebook. So there was really no reason to, you know, cut down a tree and print the guidebook if it's just as easy for somebody to be able to look it up online. So that's what she has. And, you know, I rarely read the books. I've said that before in other videos. I just kind of jump right in, go with what I feel, go with what I already sort of connect to the archetype of the card, and then use the imagery to tell me the rest. Here's Ace of Pentacles, and I believe that's a new one for this deck. She's gorgeous. And very much the pentacles are just simply pentacles in this deck. She hasn't changed them to be any sort of specific underwater imagery. One of my favorite cards in the deck is the Six of Pentacles with the sailing ship. Isn't that a good one? I like that one a lot. Let's go ahead and move forward to the swords. And in the swords, she's chosen to use these tridents as the swords, which I think is great. And again, it kind of goes back and forth. Sometimes it's swords, and then sometimes it's the tridents. So those are both sort of used interchangeably to depict that suit. And it looks like this Nine of Swords. This is a very good, like, classic image. I mean, the way that looks, that tells everything, right? And then we have the wands, and what I love about the wands is she's chosen to use oars, and that's just so fitting. Of course, it fits in with the water theme, but also a wand, the suit of wands is all about what is your direction, where are you going in your life, and how are you getting there, and what kind of volition do you have, and what kind of motivation do you have, a fire do you have within you to actually get you to your destination. So sometimes you will see just regular traditional wands, like here on the Three of Wands, and then sometimes you will see that they actually are oars. Look at the Five of Wands, so good, with all of the mermaids kind of battling each other in very traditional Five of Wands style. The court cards as well are great. I love the Queen of Pentacles. She's one of my favorites. Here with her trident, her, you know, the tool of Poseidon. So this is the Mermaid Tarot. Every time I pull this one out, people just absolutely love this deck. Everyone wants to know, what is this one? So now you guys have seen a little bit of a walkthrough through Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot, and I really hope you guys can get your hands on this one. Even though, like I said, I do like the color and the printing on the first edition a little bit better, you might still be able to find that one online. But the quality of the cards overall is actually fantastic. It's nice thick cardstock. They're not super glossy. They have a really, really nice coating. They have nice rounded edges and completely hand drawn and colored, which just gives them a really special feel. So I'm sure that you will love this deck as much as I do. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching and enjoying. And I really appreciate it if you do take the time to subscribe, to go ahead and click a like, and please comment below. Is there a deck that you guys would like to see me review? Do you have this deck? Do you have any thoughts? Your feedback is really welcomed and encouraged. So I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.